they're supposed to hold their charge
like
for
75 hours or something?
Yeah, so they say. All this stuff is. But. Oops. Get out of the way.
I love the one platform now, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's no more powerlifting ping pong. It's there's some big numbers the boys will be putting up here.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be insane.
Oh, Mr. Martin. Gotta remind him of something. Let's find out who second and third were last year. Second, third, and fourth.
Yeah, gotta turn that one the other way there.
You rookie, Russ.
First day on the job. Well, I think it would have been Jay second, right?
Probably, but you know we have it in our constitution. We're supposed to give them medals here. Yep. Let's get all the way down to the end. Are you doing the announcing, Chris?
Yes, sir. Want me to announce temp changes? Lifters in the back, 4 minutes until changes are no longer accepted. For openers, 4 minutes. So you don't flex in these shirts.
All right, let's go pose.
You power belly it. You power. Get on in there, babe. Come on now. Okay, this is a power. This is a power pose.
Matt, stand up.
Hopefully power.
Yeah, now you get in there. Get in here, big boy. Oh my lord.
Very good.
Thank you very much. Hell yeah.
2 minutes to change openers. 2 minutes to change openers. No more changes to openers. No more changes to openers. Lifting is going to begin in 3 minutes. A few things to go over before the lifting starts. This evening, our banquet doors open at 6 p.m. Dinner starts at 7. There'll be karaoke and UFC 248 afterwards. Now, I don't know if it's going to be broadcasted or there's going to be a microphone, but maybe Matt's going to be singing and fighting. Also, as soon as this session is over, if anyone would like to volunteer and help with teardown, that would be more than appreciated. Today's session is brought to you by Power Belly Lifting Co. They've been selling shirts all week. They are a fitness apparel brand. If you're not following them, please follow them now on Instagram at Power Belly Lifting Co. Today's session is our 120 and 120 plus open men.
Alrighty, and if you are just joining us live now, welcome to the 2020 CPU Nationals Powerlifting and Bench Press Championship. Here on our 5th and final day, we have our last session of the week. We're watching our 120 and 120 plus open raw men's compete here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. My name is Reese Patton. I'm a Winnipeg local with a little bit of dabbling in powerlifting myself.
And my name is Jarrett Miskew. I'm also a Winnipeg local, and I'm strictly an amateur, but a huge fan of the sport.
Referees to their seats, please. Referees to their seats,
So this has
please.
got to be the most exciting part of the week, in my opinion, watching the big boys.
Absolutely. There's something exciting about seeing people your own size lift. When you see the strongest
Ladies and
and the biggest
the
of the
bar
lifters,
is loaded.
that's when it gets really exciting.
Umberto Capello, 237.
Starting off, we have
kilos.
Umberto Capello. His opener for his squat is 237.5 kilograms. That's approximately 523 pounds, and he's squatting on behalf of Alberta.
Very smooth opener.
And that's 3 white lights. The lift is good.
Willis going up 250 kilos. First lane is Jacker. Kari on deck. Steven is in the hole.
Do you want me to I can just say the white lights? You want to say, lift is good? Or I guess I'll call
Loaded.
Okay. But it's fine. That's okay. Already up next, we have Lane Jacquard representing British Columbia here, and he's opening with a 250 kilogram squat.
Lane came in all fired up and moved that very, very fast.
3 white lights, that's a good lift.
Good lift.
That's how you want your openers to look, right? We want them to just be nice and smooth.
Especially with that squat, you want to get some confidence that first time on the platform, shake out those nerves a bit, and set yourself up for a big total.
Exactly. Next up, we have Kyle Patterson. Cal will also be attempting 250 kilograms, and he's lifting on behalf of Saskatchewan.
See what the judges have to say. 3 white lights. It's a good lift.
Alrighty, we have up next the Ontario native, Stephen Domasina. He'll be attempting 255 kilograms in the 120 raw open category. We're definitely going to see some big numbers today.
These are just the openers, so this is the lightest we'll see. Well, he certainly sunk that. 3 white lights. The lift is good.
Yeah, deep but easy, fast out of that hole.
It's interesting to see some lifters come in just absolutely jacked up, ready to go. Others are much more cerebral. They're pretty calm.
Definitely. Everyone's got a different strategy, and you got to find out what works best for you. Or they might just be keeping it in the tank, waiting for their thirds to come out, when then they'll maybe turn it on and get more fired up.
Again, a very smooth opener. Jonathan with 265 kilograms.
Next up, we have Austin Ryan. Austin will be attempting 272.5 kilograms. That's all approximately 600 pounds, and he's representing Ontario. Bars loaded for Austin.
Ontario's own.
Austin's actually coached many of the athletes this week. And that flies. 3 white lights, that's a good lift for Austin.
$280 for Cardinal. Carries on deck. Brings in the hole.
Next up, we have Mark Cardinal. Mark will be attempting 280 kilograms for his opener. He's representing Quebec.
Bar is loaded.
And bar is loaded for Mark. Seems like a lot of these athletes are choosing a flatter foot shoe to squat in. It seems like not a lot of heels are being used.
Very smooth out of that hole.
The referees say.
And Mark with 3 white lights. It's a good lift.
For the world record holder. Please load the bar with 290 for Kari.
So with these super heavyweights and the heavyweights, there's 5 spotters on the squat. Is that always the case, or is there sometimes different numbers of spotters depending on the size?
In this case, usually for the heavyweights there is, because I believe it's after they get over 250 kilos or 225 kilos. I can't quite remember. It's actually required that there be more than your standard 3 spotters.
So that's safety of the lifter and the spotters as well.
Exactly.
Here's Kari with the 290.
Kari squatting on behalf of Ontario. Ontario with a huge presence here at the CPU Nationals.
Goes down, he comes up, 3 white.
Kerry with 3 white lights. Very controlled descent.
Controlled, methodical, and he secures that opener.
And I believe Curtis has our heaviest opener for squat at 295 kilograms or 650 pounds.
And this is just what he's opening with. I can't wait to see what he's going to end up finishing with. Curtis representing Alberta.
Good job, spotters.
That's a great catch by the spotters and loaders, keeping those athletes safe. Curtis looking like he's walking off with a bit of an injury.
Looks like he might have just lost some tension at the bottom of that squat. But you'll notice he stayed with the bar, he didn't dump it, and the spotters were able to get it back onto the rack and keep everyone as safe as possible.
Yeah, that's hard work being a spotter and loader. You know, you're lifting more weights than all the athletes have all weekend, right? So
I've competed and I've spotted and loaded, and I was absolutely wrecked after spotting and loading.
I'm not surprised by that one bit. So we're moving on to our second attempts. Umberto Capello here from Alberta, Canada, attempting 255 kilos or 562 pounds.
It's a big jump from 237.5 on his opener.
Yeah, quite a big jump, eh? 17.5 kilos.
Excellent push through that sticking point. See what the judges have to say. 3 white lights. Excellent lift.
His coach looking very happy with the success of that lift. It'll be interesting to see how these second attempts go, and we'll see kind of how the attempt selection will continue, if people will be giving it all. And
Absolutely. Second attempt really gives you the sense of what you want to do on your third.
exactly. And I find, too, with the heavier lifters, a lot of them, the squat is their bread and butter. You know, a lot of them make up a lot of their poundage or their kilos out of their total from their squat rather than the deadlift, which we see in a lot of other weight classes.
Very nice looking second attempt. Just about as smooth as his first.
Kyle securing that 260 kilogram squat as a good lift.
So on that note about the deadlift versus the squat, I imagine part of that is just the body shape on the squat.
Definitely.
Use that torso a little bit to bounce back up. Harder to get in position on the pull.
Yes, exactly. Having a heavier frame, you know, sometimes even a bit of a power belly, as some people will say, is definitely easier to get the squat out rather than the deadlift. You can kind of get in the way there.
Lane, a very exciting lifter. He's a wild animal out there.
And Lane will be attempting 262.5 kilos. That's approximately 578 pounds. Oh,
Lost his balance at the top there.
Good job, spotters.
it's a good catch by our spotters and loaders.
$275 for Steven.
Next up is Steven with 275.
Jonathan, you're on deck. Austin Ryan is in the hole.
This is a jump of 20 kilograms.
606 on the bar.
Looks like our platform crew just making some last-minute adjustments to the platform. We saw that wild shake from Lane It might have caused a bit of the platform to become a bit unhinged.
When he shook that bar, it didn't look like there was 600 pounds on it.
No, definitely not. That shows you what kind of force these athletes are just generating.
He absolutely dropped into that hole with incredible speed. I wonder if coming back up, that was part of what threw him off. I think he sat back a little bit and then just lost his balance, but the weight moved pretty well.
Definitely.
Bar is loaded for Steven.
You got to use your bounce out of the hole. You got to use that control to your favor, and sometimes it is hard to maintain that nice bar path.
Just making an adjustment to the rack height here. It was a little bit too high.
And Stephen will be attempting 275 kilos, representing Ontario.
Very nice fight through that middle portion of the lift. And that's 3 white lights.
And he's walking off with a nod of approval. He knew he had that lift in the bag before he stepped out on that platform.
Bar goes up to 90 kilos.
Next we have Jonathan Dewitt. Jonathan will be attempting 277.5 kilos
Saskatchewan's own.
on behalf of Saskatchewan.
Bar is loaded for Jonathan.
When you get to these weights, you really need to have that mental fortitude to push through.
There's almost something special about the squat that way. Deadlift, you pick it up or you don't, but the squat, it's on your back pushing you right down.
Yeah, many people say that's not even the most dangerous, but definitely the most testing.
Oh, wow. Like butter on that one.
Yeah, easy second attempt by Jonathan. He gets those 3 white lights.
No questions on 3 white lights on that one. Good attempt.
Next up, we have Austin Ryan. Austin will be attempting 290 kilograms on behalf of Ontario. So it looks like we're having just a bit of a break to do a little bit of maintenance on the platforms. This is pretty common when you see these big boys lifting because they're moving a lot of weight around, and we want to make sure that we're keeping the platform safe for our lifters.
And I guess after 5 days of people slamming weight down on that plywood, tends to get a little bit shaky.
Oh, definitely. I was here one of the days we had to replace the plywood underneath, and yeah, it's some serious work that they do here. Looks like we have one of our spotters and loaders helping out with lifting the weights. Maybe we'll see him on the platform next year.
Now's a good time. If you're sitting in the crowd, you got a few minutes, please make your way over to some of our sponsors on the side of the room.
So while we're in timeout, what's your thought on second attempt selection?
With me in second attempts, personally, I find that the athlete should be going for their targeted or their goal weight. I think they should be attempting a weight that is within reason, but still pushes them a little bit. I think you want to save that third for either a break or for a full send, just a full crazy attempt. That's something you wouldn't normally try.
Here's Austin with 290 kilograms.
This is 639 pounds.
Goes to the basement, and 3 white lights.
And that's 3 white lights for Austin.
Austin appears to have a pretty big contingent of fans in the crowd. Got a lot of cheers on that one.
Yeah, we've seen the Ontario Powerlifting Association had a huge presence here this week. Lots of athletes to pull from, and a lot of athletes at this event. Next up, we have Ryan Austin. He'll be attempting 290 kilos. Austin, local to Belleville, Ontario.
Very controlled, right through the entire portion of the lift.
And my correction, that was Mark Cardinal. Mark Cardinal with 290 kilograms. Makes it look easy. We have Curtis DeBlanco next. Curtis attempting the 295 kilogram from Alberta.
We just found out that Curtis has withdrawn after that apparent injury on that opening squat.
When he came down, he said coming out of the hole, he felt a pop on his left adductor quad. We're not entirely sure yet, but yeah, he's back in the hotel room, gonna drink his sorrows away.
Gotcha. Yeah. Fair enough. Thanks for letting us know.
Yeah, no worries. We'll see you guys.
Yeah.
So they'll get a nice 1 minute break between each lift.
So we send out our real concern and our good thoughts towards Curtis on a quick recovery from that injury.
Yeah, it looks like something to do with his abductor. That's never fun. You know, you come all this way, you train all this time to compete at this level, this platform, and, you know, to wind up with an injury is always a tough thing to swallow.
And you got to think when you're opening with the heaviest squat, you're really looking to compete.
Oh, very much so.
So Curtis let his attempt time out, and that's a really classy move because it gives his competitors an extra minute of rest, preparation, let them get in the zone.
Definitely. I mean, we think that from the front, but at the same time, that's also a minute of suspense, and you have to kind of live with.
Extra minute to get in your head, I guess.
Yeah.
You can hear the Ontario crowd for Kerry Dennison, 300 kg.
And this is his second attempt. So we'll see what kind of strategy he's implementing after he attempts this lift.
18 seconds, Kari.
Excellent lift.
And
that
a great
first
fight.
few inches out of that hole was just incredibly quick.
It's a good thing to have your sticking point be at the bottom, though, because as soon as you get that stretch reflex and are able to go past that, then you're in the clear. What a well-executed squat.
Our weight goes down 265 from lane.
So I guess when we're talking about the psychological aspect of competing, when somebody drops out or has to withdraw, that's got to change your strategy a bit too, because if you were sort of thinking you might be looking at second or third or wherever, and now one of the top runners drops out, that changes the whole landscape.
Definitely. As we see Lane getting fired up for this. Yeah, it definitely moves you into a little bit different mindset. It starts seeing that gold is maybe a more realistic outcome that you can accomplish. Lane absolutely charging out here.
Well, that looks so much better. It was a little heavier. The referee said 3 white lights.
3 white lights. Lane kept his balance, fought through that sticking point, and completes his third attempt on squats, going 2 for 3.
He hit that squat hard into the hole.
A lot of speed. I think we kind of noticed that on his second too. He's a very, very quick squatter.
Mm-hmm. I guess he's just, trying to get the most out of his stretch reflex, and very impressive lift by Lane. Next we have Umberto Capello attempting 265 kilograms for his third and final squat, representing Alberta.
And the referees say 2-1. It's a good
And 2 white lights, that's good. 2 is all you need to pass a successful lift, so he'll take it.
And so for anyone watching powerlifting for the first time, there's 3 referees, and they all kind of watch for different things.
Yeah, side judges have to make sure that the athletes are hitting depth, and that's where your hip crease goes below your knee. And they're also making sure that the front judge is making sure then that your grip on the bar is correct, and that there's any sort of downward motion. We have Kyle Patterson up next from Saskatchewan. He'll be attempting 270 kilograms for his 3rd attempt. Kyle making 10 kilogram jumps between his different attempts.
Good contrast there with Kyle. A little bit more of a controlled descent. 3 white lights.
3 white lights. That's what he wanted. Looks like that was a good sort of attempt selection for him, taking those 10 kilogram jumps.
It's always hard to say what's going to be there on meet day. It didn't seem like he had a ton in the tank left, but a really nice pick on that 3rd.
Definitely. So next up we have Steven.
And the bar is loaded for Steven. Jonathan, you're on deck. Austin Ryan in the hole.
And I'm not sure if Steven's going to be taking his 3rd. Oh, here he comes. Never mind.
So from the time the bar is loaded, the lifter has 1 minute to, I believe, commence the lift.
Correct. That is correct. Steven attempting 285 kilograms. That's 628 pounds. Hitting some serious numbers. Ooh, and a good catch by our spotters and loaders.
Yeah, you can see he popped out of the hole pretty quick and then hit his sticking point and just didn't have it today.
Yep. It's a tough way to finish up your squats, but shake it off and get ready to move into the bench press.
Yeah, so he finished with a squat at 275.
Bar is loaded for Jonathan.
Yeah, that's not a bad squat at all. We have Jonathan Dewitt up next from Saskatchewan, attempting 287.5 kilograms.
Jump of 10 kilograms from his 2nd.
And another good save by the spotters.
Jonathan with a fairly narrow stance for a bigger fella.
Definitely. It seems like we have sort of 2 types of lifters at these weight classes. You either have the sort of a little bit shorter, a little bit stockier lifters, then we have some maybe a little bit taller and more limbly lifters. And of course you have to use your leverages to your advantage.
Definitely a process of experimentation.
Many, many hours in the gym.
Here's Austin with 661 or 300 kilograms.
So close, Austin.
Working hard there are spotters and loaders. Looked like Austin hit a sticking point a little bit higher than the last few.
Definitely. Just didn't have the endurance to grind through the rest of that squat.
That being said, he did walk off looking pretty gamely, so I think he's ready to go.
Yeah, we'll see how the benches turn out.
Bar is loaded for Mark.
That's part of the strategy, right? Is you want to see, do you use it all up in your squat and try to get a little bit ahead early on, or do you leave a little bit in the tank for the rest of your lifts and sort of play the strategy that way?
And I guess that's where having a coach can really make a difference.
Definitely. Mark Cardinal up next. Mark will be attempting 302.5 kilograms from Quebec, the Frenchman.
What a fight.
Good fight. But stayed relatively smooth throughout. That's 3 white lights for Mark.
What a battle. You couldn't have put a
And here's our last squat of the flight. This is Kerry, and he's going with 305. That's 672 pounds.
Kari squatting only 2.5 kilograms more than Mark if he makes this attempt. So it looks like we're going to have a bit of a battle leaving the squat for the 120 open men's class. We see Kari firing himself up before the lift.
Come on, Kerry.
That scream almost sounding primal in nature.
What a final lift.
What a amazing lift. And he is fired up. That's huge confidence moving into the bench.
From this angle, it almost looks like he paused, lost a little bit of momentum, and then just completely ground through that.
That's incredible.
So we're moving on to the men's Raw Open 120
We
plus.
have 275 kilos for Terrence.
So this is our second flight for session 2 here at the 2020 CPU Nationals.
Byron is loaded for Terrence Mendez, coming all the way from Nova Scotia.
First up in the 120 plus category, we have Terrence Mendes. Terrence will be attempting 275 kilograms from Nova Scotia. Not many athletes from Nova Scotia this weekend I haven't seen.
Nope, neither have I. Very quick opening lift, 3 white lights.
Made it look easy.
I think when we open up over 600 pounds, we're going to see something fun today.
Yes, definitely. Next up, we have Sharif Joma. Sharif will be attempting 277.5 kilograms, representing Ontario.
So at a meet of this caliber, all of the judges are quite accomplished.
Definitely. In order to be a ref for the CPU Nationals, you have to be a nationally certified ref. And we might even have a couple of world-level referees here in Winnipeg as well. So you know you're getting some quality reffing.
Sharif looking pretty calm up there. Wow.
Wow is right. Made that look like it was 300 pounds on his back.
3 white lights.
That might have been the fastest opener I've seen today.
I think so too.
Huge confidence builder.
Increased to 285 for Trevor. Raymond, you're on deck.
So that's a good lift for Sharif. Moving on to Trevor Greenwood. Trevor will be attempting 285 kilograms. This is the men's Raw Open 120 plus category.
285 for Trevor. Bar is loaded.
And that is a big man.
Come on, Trevor.
Another very fast opener.
Oh, Sharif's got some competition on the
Looks like Sharif and Trevor are both competing for the fastest squat today. Trevor getting 3 white lights. We'll see if Raymond can deliver the same type of speed, as he'll be attempting 285 kilograms. Raymond squatting on behalf of Saskatchewan.
So Raymond and Trevor almost exact same weight and same opener.
We'll see there. Hopefully there'll be a bit of a battle going on between them. It's honestly very exciting to see when these athletes have such close numbers, and that's when you really get to see the strategy take place.
Absolutely. Raymond with a very aggressive unrack. Nothing wrong with that opener.
Nothing wrong with that at all. Nice and smooth. And 2 white lights. That's a successful lift.
Please increase the weight to 290 kilos. For Ben Borger from BC.
Next up, we have Ben Borger from British Columbia. He'll be attempting 290 kilograms.
Kari is loaded.
It just looks like they keep coming out bigger and bigger, don't they?
He is an absolute mountain of a man.
Bit of a sticking point coming out of that hole, but he makes the lift. That's 3 white lights.
Good lift. 3 white lights.
We'll see how he adjusts for the rest of his attempts.
For Michael, 290. And up next we have Eric.
We have Michael Rood up next. Michael attempting 290 kilograms on behalf of Ontario.
For Michael.
Michael looking pretty confident approaching the platform.
And he smokes that. That's 3 white lights. That's a good lift for Michael.
Please increase the weight to 305 kilos for Canada's own world champion 2018 bars loaded for Eric Willis, who 2 days ago won the national championship.
So next up we have Eric Willis. Eric is a world champion from 2018. He'll be attempting 305 kilograms for his opener. That's 672 pounds.
I believe Eric also competes equipped.
He does. I was listening to him earlier talking to Saskatchewan's own Ryan Stinn about his different equipped lifting.
Despite the fact that these are our biggest physical lifters, they're moving real quick.
Yes. That's a common misconception as Eric walks off with that good lift, is that these athletes, they're big, but they're fast. You need to have a lot of fast twitch muscle to move these weights.
Well, it's hard to move a big weight slowly.
Definitely.
716 pounds on the bar.
So we're moving up to
Bar is loaded for
Mikael Kluche.
Bruno is
Mikael representing Quebec here in the 120 plus category. This is 716 pounds. And we still have 2 more lifters after Mikael.
Very smooth lift from Mikael, and waiting on the judges. 3 white lights.
3 white lights for Mikael.
Good lift. Looked like he was very efficient with his depth there, making sure not to sink it too low. You were talking earlier about the judges. Definitely a very hard thing to do is to call depth on these bigger gentlemen.
Absolutely, with the size of the legs, it's a little bit harder to see that hip crease and to see where it drops with those big quads.
Definitely. We have Bruno Boucher up next, also from Quebec, attempting 325 kilograms as well.
Bruno is a gamer. He loves Quake 3, he's telling us.
Quake 3, that's a throwback. And that's a good lift for Bruno. That's 3 white lights. Makes that look easy.
So this is what we like to see. All of our lifters have hit their opening squat with the 120 plus.
Definitely.
Just Jason left, and obviously he's opening with the biggest opening squat at 330, 727.5 pounds.
And that's exactly it. This is an opener.
Canada's first 800-pound deadlifter. Bar is loaded for Jason Berg.
Jason was Canada's first 800-pound deadlifter. Definitely a veteran here.
Goes down.
3 white lights for Jason. So our heaviest opening squat is a good lift.
Looks like he had a bit of a sticking point just outside of the hole. After he got through that point, it flew up, but
Just blasted it, yeah.
we'll see how that affects his next attempts. We have the speed demon Sharif Joma taking his second attempt at 290 kilograms.
It's 12.5 kilograms up above his opener.
And we see with these big boys, they're making big jumps. Another speedy lift by Sharif.
Much quicker than the elevators in the hotel.
And
That's
3 white lights.
Beautiful. Well executed.
So we were talking before, your opener really just gets you on the board, build some confidence, something you know you can hit. Second attempt is where you test yourself a little bit, see what's there on that day. Still want to build that total. And then the third is where you really send it.
Definitely. The third is always the most exciting, but the third could also be the most dangerous.
295 kilos.
You got to make sure that you're playing it safe, but you still want to end up pushing yourself.
So Terrence opening 20 kilograms heavier than his opener. Must have felt pretty good about that first squat.
Definitely. 20 kilograms is a pretty big jump.
The referees say 3.
Good lift for Terrence.
It's a good push by Terrence. Looking very like a very slow, not much of a slowdown, very minimal slowdown.
Sports apparel. Right now they have some pretty smooth t-shirts. I think it's about 70% cotton, 30%
Just looking ahead at the scoreboard into the second attempts, we've got some high 700 seconds. Think we might see an 800-pound squat today?
We very well could be. Very well could be. We have Ray Hickey attempting a 300-kilogram squat from Saskatchewan. We'll see Ray sporting a very impressive power belly. And that's fast out of the hole. That's another 3 white lights for Ray.
Yeah, as you noticed, it's a little slower on the seconds with these guys, but not a lot.
Not a lot. It seems like a lot of the guys today are dialed in, and they're really being efficient with their choices, and it's looking like a good session so far. While we're waiting, I'll give a shout out to our session sponsor, Power Belly Lifting Co. Just a small clothing brand that's just starting up here in Winnipeg.
And the bar is loaded for Ben.
So our next 3 attempts are all at 305.
It's exciting to see. We like to see the competition between these athletes. Ben attempting 305 kilos. That's, for you kilo challenge people like myself, 672 pounds. And he's from beautiful British Columbia.
Very good fight. We'll see. Looked like the bar may have dipped a little bit. Hard to say from this angle. That's a good lift. 2 out of 3 white lights.
All you need is 2 white lights to continue through.
Bar weight stays the same.
Sometimes in powerlifting, good is good enough. And our platform crew really putting in the work today, moving all these weights for these big athletes.
Bar is loaded.
Sorry, I was trying to read some of this if I see something or someone.
Next up, we have Michael Rood. Michael squatting on behalf of Ontario, Canada. His last attempt was super fast, so we'll see about this one. Another smooth lift for Mike. And that's 3 white lights. It's a good lift.
And a good lift. The streak continues.
Some of these platform crew members have been doing this for all 5 days.
Definitely.
Bar is loaded.
Pretty amazing commitment on the part of our volunteers here.
To be fair, they're getting a free workout in. They don't even need to hit the gym after this.
Maybe more of a strongman workout?
Definitely more of a strongman workout. We got Trevor Greenwood up next. Trevor representing Ontario.
Amazing speed.
Wow.
I didn't see it. What happened?
Nothing but to describe, but fast for that good lift for Trevor Greenwood.
Lights on that slam dunk.
Just explosiveness out of that hole.
It's one thing to do big lifts like that in the gym. It's another thing when you got a huge crowd in front of you, all that pressure, representing your province.
Bar
Definitely.
is loaded for Mr. Eric Willis.
That's why it's so important to train in the gym like you would on the platform. We can see Eric Willis
Friends from Saskatchewan.
finally breaking that 305 streak and moving up to 325 kilograms. Eric also squatting on behalf of Ontario.
Controlled all the way through. Very nice.
And that's why he's a world-class athlete, right? Just the level of control and technique he's dialed in. Makes sense why he's hitting these lifts with such ease.
Bruno, you're on deck.
Got some big jumps here now. We have 347.5 for Mikhail. It's a jump of 20 kilograms.
Yeah, 22 and a half.
22 and a half, yeah.
That's a big jump. Mikhail squatting with his fellow team partner, Bruno Boucher from Quebec. Mikhail's goal for this contest is a spot on the podium, which is going to be a tricky one with all of these high-level athletes.
Three white lights, good lift for Mikhail.
He's looking very determined after that lift.
So we're keeping the weight the same for Bruno at 347.5 or 766 pounds.
So with Mikhail's goal to get on the platform or the podium this contest, Bruno's saying his goal is to out-squat Mikhail. So a little bit of friendly rivalry between the two. We'll see if he'll be able to tie up their squat after this second attempt.
Can't wait to see what the third attempts are going to be.
Oh, it's going to be exciting.
Push.
Little nod from Bruno.
And well-deserved. That's 3 white lights and a good lift.
There's a point in a lift where you just know you have it.
Definitely. Usually it's after you push through that sticking point, which, to be honest, Bruno didn't look like he had very much of a sticking point.
The first CPU lifter to ever squat and deadlift 800 pounds or more in the exact same session. That might be something you want to applaud.
So next up we have Jason Byrne.
Bar is loaded for Jason Byrne. 350. Let's go, Jay.
Jason attempting 350 kilos. That's 771 pounds. I remind you, this is raw. Raw means there's no supportive equipment other than knee sleeves and a belt.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
Oh, yeah.
And the judges say 3 white lights. That's our heaviest squat of the day so far.
Well, that's just remarkable. It looks like that moved better than his first attempt. They must have done some adjustments afterwards and pulled through, and it looks like it's paying off.
Might even be a case, a little bit of the nerves. Not that I think a competitor of his level gets too nervous, but you get that first squat in and you know you're on the board.
Definitely.
Time to put on a show.
I don't know. I feel like it's the opposite. If you have such a history with this sport, you almost have a little more pressure because you're expected to show up.
Yeah, I guess if you're just squatting 700, it's not really a big deal. It's just a day at the office.
Exactly. Moving on to our third attempts today, we have Sharif again. We'll see if this 302.5 kilograms will move as fast as his other two have.
Loaded for Sharif. Third attempt squats. Now let's get behind everyone. 302.5 kilos.
I guess Sharif's just a fast lifter in general.
Definitely.
3 white lights.
I would have almost put more weight on that bar.
And not to jump the gun at all, but I just looked ahead, and Jason Byrne will be attempting over 800 pounds on his 3rd squat.
Wow. It's just such a high quality of athlete here. I think a lot of this has to do, too, with the change in the national qualifiers this year.
305 kilos.
So you're really getting the best of the best here in Winnipeg for the 2020 CPU Nationals. We got Terrence Mendes up next from Nova Scotia, attempting 305 kilograms. That is 672 pounds.
Not there today.
Not quite. That's a good effort by Terrence, though.
Well done, spotters. Well done. All good things must come.
So Terrence will walk away with a 295 kilo squat for the day.
Here's Ben with 310 kilograms, 683 pounds.
Bar is loaded for Ben. Raymond, you are on deck.
Ben representing British Columbia.
Michael in the hole. Michael in the hole.
Great fight, very controlled.
Good push through that grind. And unfortunately, it's not going to be a good lift.
2 reds to 1 white.
And I believe he was called for depth with that squat.
We're now approaching 700 pounds.
Raymond up next with 312.5 kilograms, 688.9 pounds.
Bar is loaded.
Bar is loaded for Ray. Ray, definitely, I think, one of our shorter athletes.
Big breath. And
That's a good lift. 3 white lights. He's fired up with that reaction.
Next up is Michael with 320 kilograms. Michael is also opening with our heaviest bench. About 480 pounds, I think.
Wow.
Bar is loaded for Michael. 320 kilos. Trevor, same weight on deck.
So we'll see Michael's last 2 attempts flew. So we'll see if this third one slows him down anymore. Taking about a 15 kilogram jump. So he must be confident in his abilities.
Great fight. Slowed down right in the middle there, but he locked it out.
And that's
3
white
white
lights.
For Michael.
He's fired up with that. That's a lot of confidence moving forward into the bench. You know you have a significant advantage over some of your other athletes.
From our perspective, too, we were able to see him leaving the platform, and some of his competitors were giving him high fives, fist bumps. One of the best parts of this community.
Definitely. The powerlifting community is a very friendly and open community. And strong.
Trevor with 320, 705 pounds.
Wow.
I didn't see it. What happened? What happened? 3 white lights.
That's 3 white lights for Trevor with an absolute smoke.
I think Trevor's coach was happier than he was on that one.
I think so as well. I think Trevor was still trying to figure out where he was. This is just incredible, the speed that these guys are coming out of the hole with.
Here's Eric Willis, just shy of 750.
Looks like Trevor lifted that with such great force that we had the ref almost double checking the weight to see if it was on there.
The bar is loaded.
Next up we have Eric Willis attempting 340 kilograms on behalf of Ontario. This is a 749-pound squat.
Let's go, champ.
Very methodical.
It's very smooth, very technical, and that's 3 white lights to make it a good lift.
Does not look all that gassed coming off the platform.
Definitely not. Maybe he'll be saving it for some of his later lifts. So this is interesting. We see the rivalry between Bruno and Mikael. Bruno switching positions and having to take his attempt before Mikael at the 352.5 kilogram mark. So it looks like this is the spot to secure Bruno's placing over Mikael. And unfortunately, Bruno doesn't have it today.
Just couldn't pop out of that hole.
It looks like he was pointing to something in his hips. We'll see how that'll affect his later lifts. Moving on to Mikael. Mikael Cloutier will be attempting 355 kilograms from Quebec. Mikael would like to shout out some of his sponsors. Believe Supplements, Titan Canada.
And the bar is loaded for Mikael. Let's get behind it, everyone. This is 2 Big Mac shy of 800 pounds. Let's go.
And that's 2 white lights. That's a good lift from Mikael.
And our last squatter of the day.
Our last squat of the day, even of the week.
This is a Canadian record attempt, a national record.
This is 365.5 kilograms. That's 805 pounds.
800 pounds in the 120 plus category.
We're looking at history right here. Our platform crew
For Canada,
getting the stage set.
100-pound squatter and deadlifter in the same session. Bar
Jason looking focused but calm.
Let's get behind him. It's the biggest boss squad you're going to see at all 2020 Nationals.
You can just hear this crowd hyping on Jason. They want to see this record broken. And unfortunately, not today.
Definitely looked like it might have been there.
Definitely. He maybe would have had it another day, just not today.
Great job by all our lifters and by our spotters, loaders, and our judges. I think we're going to take a short break here and get ready for the bench press.
Our vendors we have here. Be sure to come and fill out a draw for one of the power racks in the back room, the new brand, Paul Herding.
Sounds good.
Over here, see Mr. Lewis Knoppers. I got myself a ticket for the draw later, so hopefully if I win it, someone can help me bring it back to Ontario in your luggage. Please check out Athletic Home Styles. I just bought a heating pad, and I found out what it is. So I got a heating pad, I got something to hang on my car when I drive around. These bars low, these are all handmade, handcrafted. Please check them out. 1 minute left to change openers for bench press next session. 1 minute left to change any openers for the bench press. For anyone in the room looking to purchase an Alico bar with collars, was used in the warm-up room for the week, $400. $400. Don't give it to me, give it to this guy here. Bar and collars. And sold. 2 minutes until lifting begins. Can we get all the referees, spotters, and loaders back to the platform, please? No more changes to openers. Spotters and loaders and referees, officials, timekeepers. One minute until lifting. Spotters and loaders to the platform, please. Lifters, get ready. Lane Jackart, you are up first. 157.5. Referees to the platform, please. The order of the competition is going to be Lane, Kyle, Jonathan, Umberto, Mark Cardinal, and the bar is loaded for Lane Jackart, 157.5 on the bench. And the bar is loaded. It was good lift, good lift. Bar is loaded for Kyle. Jonathan is on deck. Yeah, they had a bar to sell, a Rico bar with collars for $400. I said, who wants to buy it? And the guy's like, I'll take it. And a good lift. Well, you could ask Matt. If you see Matt around, ask if he's got any other equipment, right? I knew nothing about it. Well, no one knew. He just came up to me and was like, hey, we got this bar. Bar is loaded for Jonathan. 170 kilos. Umberto is on deck. Mark Cardinal is in the hole.
In his career would be his first meet, where I guess he caught the powerlifting bug.
Three white lights, good lift. So in the bench press, the lifter is required to pause the bar on their chest and wait for the head ref to give the command to press it back up.
Bar is loaded for Umberto Capello, 177.5. Mark Cardinal is on deck.
We'll also see that the feet have to remain completely flat. And there's 3 commands with the bench press: the start, the press, and the rack command.
And if you jump any of those commands, it is a no lift.
Yeah, and we've seen that a couple times where they jump the rack command after a successful lift. And unfortunately, you have to get red lights for that. Humberto Capello with a 175.5 kg lift. Mark Cardinal up next from Quebec, attempting 180 kilograms.
So just like with the squat, you're going to see a pretty big variation in styles of lifting. Some guys like a really wide grip, some guys a little bit more narrow, some guys have a huge arch, some guys are relatively flat-backed.
Definitely. It just shows you the range and technique to kind of accommodate the different body types and styles we have here in powerlifting.
Good lift for Mark, 3 white lights.
An easy start for Mark.
So a wider grip typically will shorten the range of motion, but for some lifters, that's too big of a trade-off in terms of speed off the chest.
Definitely. Some people just, they need more tricep action just for them to complete the lift and finish up those lockouts. Austin Ryan attempting 185 kilograms from Ontario.
Easy opener for Austin Ryan.
3 white lights, super easy.
No one looking too challenged on this first set of lifts here.
Definitely not. Once again, we see those openers just being used as a big confidence booster.
185 kilos.
Here's Steven with 205 kilos, 451.9 pounds.
Stefan is on deck.
My bad, that is actually Kari with 185 kilos or 407 pounds.
So Kari finished up with the heaviest squat.
That is a successful lift.
And he has a successful, good first bench attempt.
Bar weight goes 205.
We have Steven Damasini up next, attempting 205 kilograms for his opener. That is 451 pounds. Also representing Ontario. It's always interesting to see the trade-offs between each athlete. Some athletes are better at the squat, some are better at the bench. Some, close it all together in the deadlift. So it's really interesting to see how the numbers can really shift going between each lift. Whew.
Good lift, good lift.
Fast opener for Steven.
And like you're saying, it's part of the strategy too is knowing your opponents, because if you've got a deadlift specialist, you might think you've got enough of a lead, but you've got to really plan for the fact that that fellow might be pulling pretty heavy on that last pull.
Definitely. And we see here with our, after closing out the squats, there's a significant lead from the first to last place squats, but it's still a relatively tight race.
Absolutely. Especially with no one on the board yet, because you got to hit your first deadlift to be on the board.
Exactly. Lane bringing that same type of intensity with his bench.
Moving about like a second should. A little slower, but still nice and smooth, and
Definitely.
3 white lights.
I was definitely thinking the exact same thing. Looks like how a second should look. Put some nice effort into the lift, but not too much where you're completely gassing yourself out for your third attempt. We have Kyle Patterson up next from Saskatchewan, attempting 175 kilograms, 385 pounds. That's the other thing, a common misconception about powerlifting is, yes, you have 3 attempts, but you don't necessarily have to take all 3 attempts.
Absolutely, especially early on if you want to save something for, say, the bench or the deadlift.
Definitely.
Three white lights for Kyle. Good lift.
Making that one look relatively easy as well. Bars loaded for Jonathan Dewitt. John will be attempting 177.5 kilograms. That's 391 pounds.
He's fighting. Excellent job. 3 white lights for Jonathan.
Really quick to the chest on his descent.
Cardinal wants 190 kilos. Umberto is on deck.
Mark Cardinal with 190 kilograms on the bar, representing Quebec. Bar is loaded.
12.5K jump for Mark.
Yeah, we start to see a lot smaller of a jump on bench press, but 12.5 kilos is still a relatively large number.
Good lift for Mark. And like you said, it might not seem like a lot, but that's 6-7% increase. I mean, he's already on his opener lifting something that's, he's confident, but it's not easy.
Yes, oh, for sure. We have Umberto next, attempting 190 kilograms from Alberta.
So most of our lifters are taking a handoff. So it's a gentleman that assist them with getting the bar out of their rack and then quickly backs off.
And a lot of people like that for energy preservation, correct?
Absolutely.
And the referee's saying,
Umberto with a good lift. That's 3 white lights.
It does involve a certain amount of trust that the person's going to give you a good handoff, sort of the way you like it. So often you'll see lifters explaining how they like that bar to be handed to them, where it's to be placed, what the signal will be to unrack it.
Definitely, with the so many variations that we talk about, you need to inform your handoff person that, because he could just hand him off the same to everyone, and that could affect everyone completely different.
100%.
We have Austin Ryan next.
Very nice second attempt.
He makes light work of that 192 kilograms with 3 white lights.
So immediately once a lifter finishes their lift, they have 1 minute to get their next attempt into the attempts table. And there's sort of a rule. So if they don't get the attempt in time, it goes up 2.5 kilograms. If they make the lift. If they don't make the lift, it stays the same.
Definitely. But they can still adjust it if they want, even though they don't make it correct.
Absolutely. Just can't go down.
Kerry Dennison with 195 kilogram bench press. That's 429 pounds. Practically 430.
Three white lights for Kari. You can see full body tension there. I can see his legs just pushing through. Get some leg drive there.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize, but the bench press actually does use a good portion of your legs to generate the power through. Just have to be careful that you don't carry out too much power through the legs to cause your butt to lift from the bench.
That's right. Just like the heels, the butt has to stay on the bench, as does the head in the CPU.
Next up, we have Steven. Steven will be attempting 212.5 kilograms on behalf of Ontario. Steven maintaining the heaviest bench out of these competitors so far. And it looks like their third attempts of all the other athletes aren't even coming close to his potential second.
Wow, that does not look like a third to me at all.
Definitely not. He might have more in the tank. He gains back a significant distance from where he was sitting, leaving the squat.
That's right. Steven missed his third squat, I believe, but he did hit a 275 on his second.
170 kilos, third attempt for Lane Jack.
Should hear Lane pretty soon. He's usually pretty hyped up.
Yeah, it's always exciting to watch Lane. Lane all the way from British Columbia. These are the third attempts for our 120 kilogram lifters.
Not there today for Lane. He got it just off the chest and then bar died out. Good job, spotters.
It's always unfortunate to miss a lift, but it's only 2.5 kilograms, so it's not as tough of a loss as it could have been.
Exactly, and a little bit psychologically easier on your third because you don't have to sort of figure out how to adjust or remake that weight on your next lift.
Exactly. We have Kyle Patterson up next. Kyle will be attempting 180 kilograms on behalf of Saskatchewan.
Kyle fast off the chest, but dies out in the midpoint of the lift. 3 reds. No lift for Kyle.
Good try, good try.
It's a good attempt, but
Body weight goes up.
just not there on meet day.
You know, no one likes to see it, but probably nothing more exciting than somebody missing 2 attempts and having to hit that third. The whole crowd gets behind them.
Definitely. It's a real comeback story. It seems like today, however, we have a lot of pretty well-calculated lifts going on. Most lifters making both their first and second attempts and just kind of giving a little bit more of a risk in that third attempt.
And not there for Jonathan today.
Not today.
So Jonathan finishes with 177.5 on the bench.
No one's hit a third attempt yet. Let's see if Mark Cardinal can break that
So Mark
streak.
Cardinal is up next with 192.5 kilograms from Quebec. We'll see if Mark can break this streak of the past 3 lifters not making their third attempt.
And Mark is 5 for 5 so far.
We'll see if he can keep it up.
Very nice lift for Mark. And the judges say 3 whites. Good lift.
He breaks that streak, and he keeps his record at 6 for 6.
Bar is loaded for Umberto.
Bar is now loaded for Umberto Capello. Humberto attempting 195 kilograms on behalf of Alberta. Seems like the bench is really close between these lifters.
Absolutely.
Other than Stevens' significant advantage.
Here goes Umberto.
Just too much today.
No lift for Umberto. Notice with some of these bigger lifters, they've got just really wide backs. It's going to be a little bit uncomfortable or tricky to get yourself set on that bench.
Definitely. Especially to think that that's the same bench that lifters of the lighter weight classes use. It
Say
only
a
will
57K lifter. Right?
Yeah. It'll only take up a fraction of their back.
Here's Austin with 197.5.
That's 435 pounds on behalf of Ontario. Fast down to the chest and fast up. That's going to be a good lift for Austin.
He's in the hunt.
So outside of powerlifting, Austin's hobbies are beer and metal. Sounds like a pretty good guy.
Sounds like a very good guy. I can definitely see us being friends.
Come on, Kerry. 197.5.
We got Kerry Dennison up next at 197.5 kilograms. He is also on behalf of Ontario.
So lifters often apply a little bit of chalk to their back, and that's just to help them from slipping on that bench, get them really stable.
Exactly. I've even seen lifters have chalk all along their back and even on their butt.
Last thing you want to do is be moving around with that weight above you.
Definitely.
And Kari continues to impress, just absolutely controlled movement. 3 white lights, good job, Kari.
So he got the heaviest squat, and now he has the second heaviest bench tied with Austin Ryan.
And here comes our heaviest bench attempt. This is Steven with 217.5 kilos.
Looks like Ontario has a bunch of big benchers. And he makes relatively easy work of that with 3 white lights for Steven.
Looking pretty happy with that bench, and no doubt about that.
Definitely gains back some significant ground from the squat. We now move into the 120 plus bench press here at the 2020 CPU Nationals in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Starting us off, we have Sharif Joma with 172.5 kilograms. We'll see if his benches are as fast as his squats were.
Looks like he's built the bench. Nice thick back.
And we see here definitely more of a range between our opener attempts with our 120 plus category.
Yeah, almost a 50K jump from one end to the other.
Definitely.
You were right. Very fast. Sharif
Very
with
fast.
3 white lights, and also a relatively narrow grip for such a big man.
He might need to take some more risks. I don't know. We'll see how these next attempt selections go. Next up is Ben Borger. Ben will be attempting 177.5 kilograms on behalf of British Columbia.
So Ben does not take a hand off. And no problem with that. 3 white lights.
Yeah, it's perhaps he trains without a lift off, so it might just be what he's most comfortable with.
Absolutely. Some of us train in home gyms and don't always have the luxury of having somebody to help us out. So you get used to one approach. It's sometimes best just to keep with what you know.
Definitely. We have Trevor Greenwood up next. Trevor will be attempting 185 kilograms, not kilometers. And he is also representing Ontario.
And a good lift for Trevor.
Our weight goes to 1925 for Raymond Hickey. Bar is loaded for
We have Raymond Hickey up next. Big Ray will be attempting 192.5 kilograms on behalf of Saskatchewan. So being the bigger lifters that these guys are, having a significantly larger size definitely reduces the range of motion that these guys have to go through. It's a good lift for Ray.
Looks smooth throughout that whole range.
Definitely. The only issue then is you have to make sure that you're not heaving off your chest. Heaving is when, after the press command is given, the athlete will sink the bar a little bit further and then try and get a little bit more spring out of their press.
Right, so you can sink the bar before the press command, but once that press command comes, it cannot move downwards at all.
We have Terrence Mendez up next. Terrence is attempting 200 kilograms and all the way from Nova Scotia.
Just like butter for Terrence. Got 2 white lights. Good lift.
So it looks like he was given a red with a yellow 3 underneath. That might have been the judge wasn't happy with his lockout at the top. But that's okay. All you need is 2 white lights. We have Bruno Boucher up next. He's attempting as well 200 kilograms. And he's from Quebec.
Very nice opener for Bruno.
Yeah, he makes that 200 kilograms look very light. We can see that injury that he had to his hip must have not affected him too much.
Next up is Jason,
Bar is loaded.
our big squatter.
Eric Willis is on deck. Decals in the hole.
Jason's opening at 205 kilograms or 451.9 pounds.
And once again, this is raw. So these guys aren't being assisted with a bench shirt or anything like that. So this is all them.
Very easy for Jason, and Jason wants to shout out his training partners and his coaches, Ron and Greg.
Ron Strong, a bit of a lifting legend here in the CPU.
Loaded. Eric Willis, 210
We have Eric Willis up next with 210 kilograms. That's 462 pounds for his opener. Eric lifting on behalf of Ontario, Canada. Wow.
Almost looks like he accelerated through the whole thing. That lockout was snappy.
Definitely. I don't think that was 210 pounds or kilograms on there. Maybe 210 pounds.
And Mikhail up next with 210 kilogram opener.
220 kilo opener.
So 220 openers for our last 2 lifters here.
Mikhail making a significant gain over his fellow Quebec competitor, Bruno. Trying to get some distance from the pack.
And an easy opener.
And he also makes that look super easy. Mikhail with the good lift.
Just another day at the office. And last up is Michael with 220 kilos as well.
These guys are just true professionals. They know what kind of job they have to do today.
Come on, Michael.
Michael also had very fast squats today. We'll see if his bench follows.
Easy.
Very nice attempt. 2 white lights, good lift. Really nice setup there. You got his feet way back, got a good arch going, nice wide grip. And I think we're ready for bench second attempts.
Bar is loaded for Sharif. Second attempt, 182.5.
So we'll see if Sharif can keep up his speed with this 182.5 kilogram bench press.
Down.
Absolutely did.
Yep, he's keeping that speed throughout his lifts.
Definitely a slower descent than the push off the chest. Looking really good. And Ben is up next with 182.5 kilograms.
And that's the thing, right? With this,
Loaded for Ben, 1825.
with these guys, you want to make sure you're having a slow, controlled descent because you don't want that bar to get away from you, and you want to make sure you're touching the same spot on your chest every time. You want to keep that consistency that you've had throughout your training and then now through your different attempts on the platform.
Let's go, Ben.
Ben fast off the chest and locks it out.
That's a good lift for Ben. 3 white lights.
And to your point, powerlifting is a deceptively complicated sport. It looks like it's something that you just got to be big and strong, and that's all there is. But there's a lot of technique involved.
Very much so. The slightest tweak to your technique can improve your lifting significantly. Anything from hand placement, hand rotation, elbow rotation, elbow position, how much of an arch you're going to have, how much you're going to retract your shoulders. There's so much that goes into each lift and so much work that has to be done to make sure that you're being consistent with each of these lifts and also being efficient.
Very fast for Trevor. And 3 white lights. And that's a good point, because you have to find the right technique, but then you've got to drill it in again and again and again. So once you get up to your really high-intensity lifts, you're not thinking, you're just acting.
Definitely. It becomes almost second nature. Bars loaded for Raymond Hickey.
Bar is loaded for Raymond. Come on, Raymond.
Raymond will be attempting 202.5 kilograms.
Very nice attempt from Raymond. Gets 3 white lights.
And he's looking dialed in there.
Absolutely. We've got Bruno up next. Bruno is from Montreal, Quebec. He's 35 years old. And he is, as we mentioned, our resident gamer. And a great attempt from Bruno. 3 white lights.
Looking easy.
Bar is loaded.
Bar is loaded for Terrence. 210 kilograms, 462.9 pounds.
It's about a 10 kilogram jump from his previous attempt. Seems to be kind of the standard here moving into these seconds is roughly a 10 kilogram jump. We'll see if that follows through into these athletes' third attempts as well.
210 for Terrence. Come on, Terrence.
I find with the bench that each attempt, it gets significantly more heavy rather than the squat and the deadlift. A 10 kilogram jump on a deadlift is almost equivalent to a 5 kilogram attempt.
And he fights through that middle point. Good job, Terrence. 3 white lights.
It's a great lift.
And different lifters can grind different lifts. Like for me, I'm either going to hit a bench that's going to look easy or it just dies completely. Whereas, say for a deadlift, I can fight a deadlift all day.
Definitely. See, I would be the complete opposite. For me, I can hit a bench pretty much all the way to lockout, but with deadlifts, if it doesn't come off that ground, it's stuck there. We got Jason Byron up next from Ontario, attempting 220 kilograms.
Very nice attempt from Jason. Fast down, white fast up. Got 2 white lights, good lift.
He's the definition of farm man strength.
227.5, 501.5 pounds.
That's right, Jason is a farmer out in Bell River, Ontario.
Bars loaded for Mikhail Kluche. Mikhail attempting 227.5 kilograms. That's 501 pounds. So we're finally over that 500 mark.
Let's go, Mick.
He had a fast last attempt.
Very smooth. Did not look like he struggled with that at all.
Nope. A little slower than his last, but he should be very happy with that attempt.
It's a good lift. Here's Eric Willis with 230 kilos, 507 pounds.
Bar is loaded for the world champion, Eric Willis. Let's get behind him, everyone. Come on.
Bars loaded for Eric Willis. Eric attempting 230 kilograms, just 507 pounds. Lifting out of Ontario.
Very nice from Eric. That is a perfectly cromulent lift. 3 white lights.
He seems very happy with that lift, nodding to his coach, and we'll see what kind of third attempts we get here.
Bar is loaded.
So this is our last of the second attempts. This is Michael
Oh,
with
sorry, I've jumped the gun. I forgot. How could I forget about Michael?
232.5 kilograms.
512 pounds. I'd say that's a pretty solid second attempt.
So a lot of lifters would be happy with that as their deadlift.
Definitely.
Michael has to re-rack. The head judge, I think, is calling him on not having flat feet at the start of the lift, so he still gets to lift.
So unfortunately, he doesn't get that lift.
Close one. No lift.
That's okay. He'll adjust and make sure he gets it for his next one.
You could hear his coach shouting cues. Another advantage to having a coach is they know what your strengths and weaknesses are. They know where you struggle, and they can help you adjust on the fly.
Definitely. Rules do indicate, though, it has to be as flat as the shoe allows, so you kind of have to find that perfect balance, and not all judges are going to know how each shoe looks in that flat position.
So I guess a heeled shoe could offer you a little bit of an advantage in that case.
Definitely. Moving into our third attempts, we have Sharif Joma from Ontario attempting 187.5 kilograms.
Excellent job by Sharif. Slowed down in that middle, almost stalled out, but he finished the lift with 2 white lights.
Yeah, Sharif finally showing a little bit of adversity against these weights rather than just smoking through each of them.
Here's Ben with 187.5 kilos. Ben getting psyched up.
Sharif also is now 6 for 6 with all of his attempts.
He's fighting. Not today for Ben. Good attempt.
Not today.
Very good attempt by Ben.
So you see our platform crew is wearing the Power Belly Lifting Co. shirts. Looking good. That's a local company, and you can find them on Instagram at Power Belly Lifting Co.
2.5 for Trevor. Trevor, the bar is loaded. Raymond, you are on deck.
It's a very fitting sponsor for these big lifters. Trevor Greenwood attempting 202.5 kilograms from Ontario. And this is for the men's open 120 plus weight category.
Oh, great attempt. Great attempt. Very fast. Really curious to see what Trevor's going to put on that third. I guess that was his third.
That was his
I think
third.
he had a bit of space there, though.
Yeah. That just absolutely flew. Must be conserving himself for the deadlifts coming up. Next up, we have Raymond. Raymond from Saskatchewan.
For Raymond Hickey.
Attempting 210 kilograms, sorry. 462 pounds.
Ray looking fired up and serious, ready to attack this lift. Good battle by Ray. He fought it, just couldn't get it past that middle point.
And not today, Bruno.
Just not today. Next up, we have Bruno Boucher, 212 and a half kilos from Quebec.
You can hear the crowd getting behind Bruno with this big attempt. Almost looks like he drifted a little bit over his bar path there.
Definitely. Good catch, though, by the spotters and loaders. Terrence Mendes up next with 217 and a half kilograms, all the way from Nova Scotia.
Bar is loaded for Terrence.
We also see some lifters wearing a belt when they bench and others without.
Let's increase that intra-abdominal pressure a little bit, stay a bit tighter. No go for Terrence today. Like you mentioned, it's pretty rare to see a lifter not using a belt on a squat, but bench is definitely not quite as common.
Yeah, it must affect how they can get into position as well, especially with the arch position.
Absolutely. Some people find that with the deadlift as well.
Bar is loaded for Jay. Let's go, Jay.
Bar's loaded for Jason. Jason lifting out of Ontario, attempting 230 kilograms.
507 pounds.
That's a big bench.
That looks like almost a perfect attempt selection. Didn't look easy. I'm not sure he had a ton left there, but it was pretty smooth throughout.
Yeah.
Go to the flanks, please.
Referees have to go to the flags due to our system being down. And we have 3 white flags, which is a good lift for Jason.
A little bit of powerlifting drama for us there.
Bar weight now goes to 232.5 for Mikael. Same weight for him and Michael.
We have Mikael Kluche up next, attempting 232 and a half kilograms. Looks like the platform crew is going to wait for our lighting system to go back up. I'd like to take this time to thank some of our sponsors. Inner Strength Products, located in Moose Jaw, SPD Canada, Alico, Strong Arm Sports, A7, LVD Media. All could not happen without our sponsors supporting our event. We'll see if Mikhail gets this third attempt here.
Very nice attempt. Lighting working again. We got 3 white lights. Good job, Mikhail.
You can hear the oi, oi, ois from the coach cheering him on.
So we've got 2 more bench attempts.
These are the last 2 benches of the CPU Nationals here in Winnipeg.
So Michael is attempting 232.5 kilos, 512.5 pounds.
And we'll see if he manages to solve his foot issue.
Yeah, you got to think that took a little bit of energy out of him on that second attempt. Getting it out, then re-racking and resetting up.
Definitely. Not only energy, but also just mentally.
You're so in the zone, and then you have to pull yourself out for a second.
Exactly.
A little bit of redemption for Michael there. 2 whites, gets the lift.
Good job, Michael.
And that's a good lift.
And here we go, the last bench press of the day. Mr. Eric Willis would like
So this is the last bench press
240 kilos, 502
of the competition, the total event.
is loaded for Eric. Let's get behind
Saved a good one for last. 529 pounds. Here's Eric
did.
Willis.
the 2020
And this is from a world level athlete and world champion. Eric's been in this position before. I'm sure he'll have success.
Absolutely. He crushed it.
Wow. Are we sure that wasn't his opener?
Well, if nothing else, he's going to go into deadlifts feeling pretty confident. Knows he's got a good shot here.
Definitely. So we're going to take about a 10-minute break to swap over to our deadlifts with our 120 and 120 plus men's open raw.
See you in 10 minutes.
We'll see you soon.
championship. As well, if you've not bought a raffle ticket yet for one of the racks in the back room, the new brand Volherding, please make your way over here. Purchase a raffle ticket. They're going to raffle them off. They're selling $10 a ticket for one of these full rack systems. 3 minutes to change openers. 3 minutes to change openers to deadlifts.
"45 seconds left to change your openers, platform 1. "20 seconds to change your openers for deadlifts, flight A. No more changes to openers for flight A. 3 minutes until lifting starts. And everybody, please help Blake Barrett in cleaning up the warm-up room hereafter. We have to tear down the whole venue. Blake needs a lot of help.
Can we get all the referees and spotters and loaders to the main platform, please? Referees, spotters, and loaders to the main platform.
Already, and we are back. with the 2020 CPU Nationals Powerlifting and Bench Press Championship. Moving into our final events for the week. And this is the 120 and 120 plus men's raw open deadlifts. So what do you think? We're going to see a lot of big numbers today?
I think we're going to see nothing but big numbers. This is going to be real exciting.
We see our platform crew loading up the first deadlift bar for Umberto Capello, 272.5 kilograms.
So we're starting at 600 pounds.
We're starting at 600 pounds. We might run out of red plates here.
All right, we're about to start the deadlifts for the open 120 kilo class. We'll be starting off at 272.5 for Umberto. Umberto will be followed by Raymond.
Well, we saw a couple near 700-pound pulls yesterday from our 105s. So maybe we'll see some
The bar is loaded.
bigger pulls from the 120s and 120 pluses.
And here we go.
Bars loaded for Umberto.
No problem for Umberto. Gets 3 white lights on that, and he's on the board.
It goes up 2.5. 5 reds on the bar.
So next we have Lane Jacquard. Lane Jacquard will be attempting 275 kilograms. That's 606 pounds
Come on, Lane.
for his opener from British Columbia. Lots of intensity in all his lifts. Definitely a fun lifter to watch.
Very fast off the floor. Good lockout.
That is a good
3 white
lift.
lights.
3 white lights. You can't argue that lockout at all.
So 2 conventional pullers so far. We'll see if there's a bit of a blend or if mostly the big boys are lifting conventional.
Next we have Jonathan Dewitt
Loaded.
attempting 280 kilograms for his opener all the way from Saskatchewan.
And here's a sumo pull.
Smooth opener for Saskatchewan.
3 white lights for Jonathan.
3 white lights. Adding 5 kilos for Austin Ryan at 285. Kyle, you are on deck. Bar is loaded for Austin Ryan.
Bars loaded for Austin Ryan. Austin attempting the 285 kilogram from Ontario. He's coached pretty much all weekend, so now he finally gets his chance at the platform.
Very nice lift from Austin. 285 kilos. And we've got Kyle Patterson up next with 290 kilograms.
We'll see a lot of lifters, they do almost a roll into their deadlift. Is that to gain momentum or?
I personally use that as well. I just find I can get into position a little bit more comfortably that way.
Gotcha. Looks like we're having a bit of issues with our collar. Collars being supplied by Alico. Raise the bar in your standard of strength products.
Bar is loaded.
Bar is loaded for Kyle Patterson, attempting 290 kilograms from Saskatchewan
Kyle Patterson
for the men's raw 120.
And that's a good lift.
Good lift for Kyle. 3 white lights.
Kyle's got those long, long legs.
Please hold the bar at 300
Doesn't seem to be much of a hindrance, though, for him.
So in general, do you want to talk briefly about the rules for deadlifting?
Sure.
So what is a good lift for a deadlift?
Well, a good lift for a deadlift has to be a successful lift off the ground with no downward motion. It has to be a lockout at the top with your hips through and your knees locked. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Other than you have to put down the bar nicely. And by nicely, you can't drop it or throw it down.
Yeah, I think basically the rule is control, right?
Controlled. You have to stay in control of the bar.
And Steven with a good lift.
And the referees say.
Other than that, I think that's pretty much it.
So lifters can get called for hitching, which is when they sort of use the legs to support the bar as they move it up.
Yeah, so hitch isn't allowed, and yeah, it's only really allowed in strongman competitions. Powerlifting, it has to be a lot cleaner of technique for it to be passed as a successful deadlift.
Here's Kari opening at 330 kilograms, 727 pounds.
Deadlifts are by far the most exciting event, in my opinion.
I'm with you on that one. Excellent patience off the floor from Kari.
Solid opener for Kerry. Nice
3 white lights.
It makes that look easy.
Let's put that weight up for your current national record holder and world record holder in the deadlift 120 kilo class, Quebec's own Mark Cardinal.
So we have Mark Cardinal up next. Mark Cardinal is both a Canadian record holder as well as a world record holder. He'll be opening up with 345 kilograms. It's almost 760 pounds. Lifting out of Quebec, we can definitely see these deadlift specialists starting to take over.
No issues on that one for Mark. 3 white lights.
World record. Please strip the weights off. We're going down to second.
And we're going to start second attempts with Umberto. He's going to attempt 287.5 kilograms.
Bring attention to our platform. These spotters and loaders. Some people up here have done 2, 3, 4, 5 sessions this week. Give them a round of applause, please. Nobody works out harder than
So the crowd is giving a round of applause to our spotters and loaders
Thank you very much,
who are
everyone.
working hard today, and some of them have been here every single day this week.
Yeah, I think one of our guys was talking about how he was so exhausted that he barely remembered his drive home. So you can tell these guys are really giving it their all to make sure these lifters have everything they need and have this event running as smoothly as it has been. Umberto with 287.5 kilograms.
He's fighting. Nope.
Good fight,
We'll be okay.
but unfortunately, it's a no lift for him today. Next we have Lane Jacquard
Lane would like 295.
attempting 295 kilograms. That's 650 pounds from British Columbia.
Loaded.
Bringing the intensity.
Here's Big Lane. Stares the bar down. Very nice pull from Lane. 3 white lights.
Yeah, that's a good looking lift. It's got a great lockout at the top.
The bar is loaded for
Next up is Jonathan Dewitt. He'll also be attempting 295 pounds.
295. John. Let's go finish it.
Very nice pull from Jonathan's.
And 3
A little slow up the floor, really fast through that middle portion. And you could see his legs were covered with not chalk, but baby powder. It's reduced friction of that bar as he pulls it against his body to lockout.
Definitely.
Byron's loaded for Kyle.
Kyle Patterson up next with 305 kilograms, 672 pounds, lifting from Saskatchewan.
Lots of intensity on the platform from Kyle.
That's a good lift. 3 white lights.
Very nice pull.
Here you see a really big grip and rip where he just grabbed that bar and immediately started pulling. It's a different technique some lifters use.
Some are real patient, just try to keep their positioning, and some are just get up there and power
Yep.
right through it.
Austin Ryan up next, attempting 305 kilograms from Ontario. And with the roll in to his deadlift, we will see.
And a great pull from coach. It's 2 white lights. That's a good lift.
Looks like the head judge wasn't quite happy with his lockout, but he still makes the lift. Next up, we have Steven.
320 for Stephen. Kerry Dennison.
Steven will be attempting 320 kilograms, 705 pounds from Ontario. They say you need 3 types of powders when powerlifting. You need chalk, you need baby powder, and you need a little bit of ammonia or smelling salts.
So what are the smelling salts for?
Smelling salts are used just to get yourself fired up before the lift. They kind of get you narrowed in and amped up to pull these big weights as Steven is doing right now.
Good effort. And 3 white.
3 white lights for Steven.
One of our sponsors is actually Zone Smelling Salts, and they make quality products which you can actually buy at Inner Strength Products, which is another sponsor of ours here. Kerry Dennison up next for 342.5 kilograms at 755 pounds.
Men in the CPU to deadlift over 800 pounds. You can clap for that.
This is a 12.5 kilo jump from his first attempt.
Let's go, Kerry.
Great pull by Kerry. Patient off the floor, finishes strong.
Yeah, I was going to say extremely patient throughout that pull. We see a lot of that with sumo lifters. The hardest part of their pull is really just that initial off the ground. And as long as they stick with it, they can generally get it. Mark Cardinal attempting 352.5 kilograms. That's 777 pounds on behalf of Quebec.
Come on, Mark.
And he makes light work of that.
That actually looked a little easier than his opener to me. It's like
Yeah.
he's really in the zone here.
I would have to agree with that. 3 white lights from Mark. That is a good lift. Moving into our third and final deadlifts for the 120 men's raw open category. We have Umberto hitting 287.5 kilos on behalf of Alberta.
I believe I can hear Lane in the back getting himself psyched up.
Yeah, you can really see the intensity throughout these athletes. They're ready to just leave it all on the platform. This is the time where they need to pull everything they have to really push through and get those final totals.
Absolutely nothing to reserve for now.
Here we go, Umberto with back slaps from his coach, Danny.
So this pull is to stay in 7th place for Umberto. Crowd cheering him on.
And a great fight. That's a good lift for Umberto. Well
How great is
deserved.
it to see that?
Oh, it's nothing better than seeing an athlete fight through a deadlift, especially in their third deadlifts.
He's got a huge smile on his face right now.
How can you not be happy with a pull like that? We got Jonathan Dewitt up next with 300 kilograms, 661 pounds from Saskatchewan. If Jonathan's successful with this pull, he will move from 6th place to 5th place.
Let's go, Jonathan.
And unfortunately, just a soft lockout for Jonathan at the top. Next, we have the absolute fireball of a man, Lane Jacquard, attempting a 305 kilogram deadlift, 672 pounds. You can probably hear him over my mic. He's all the way from British Columbia. He is getting fired up for this deadlift. His first attempt was a 20 kg jump to a second, and then another 10 for this third. Here he comes. Look at the intensity on his face here.
He's fired the crowd up as well. Three white lights
That's
for
3
Lane.
white lights. Lane goes 3 for 3 with his deadlifts.
We have Kyle Patterson up next. He's going to attempt 317.5. If he's able to pull this, he's going to stay in 5th place.
This is just shy of 700 pounds.
The bar is loaded for Kyle. Come on, Kyle.
Kyle, the Saskatchewan native.
He's fighting.
And unfortunately, not quite.
Just
Bit of
lost
grip
that one
issues.
at lost that one at lockout there.
Yeah, that's a tough one to lose to.
Austin Ryan is up next now, 325. Now Austin
He's had a pretty solid day, though. He'll finish going 7 for 9.
So Austin Ryan's up next. He's going to attempt 325. That would move him from 4th to the platform at 3rd place if he pulls this successfully.
It's a lot of pressure. You have the chance to medal on this pull.
The bar is loaded for Austin.
Bar's loaded for Austin. Love seeing all this intensity from not only the lifters, but the crowd as well. And not quite today, just a little too heavy.
Great attempt, Austin. Great attempt. Just not today.
Next up is Steven with 330 kilograms or 727.5 pounds. If he pulls this, he's going to stay in 3rd place.
Up next at 330 kilos.
This is to guarantee that bronze medal in the 120 weight class.
Stay in the bronze medal position, and then it's going to come down to our last two for silver and gold. The bar is loaded for Steven. Come on, Steven, let's finish the day strong. 330 kilos. Oh, not today.
I just didn't have it today.
He waves a thanks to the crowd, which has been very supportive of all the lifters today. And we have Kerry Dennison up here. This is a real high pressure pull for him, 345 kilograms. If he pulls this, he will be moving from second to first place.
Yeah, this is the pull for the gold. Oh, looks like we have an attempt change.
Has been submitted.
So Kari will be attempting to pull 347.5 kilograms. So from 345 to 347.5, that's 766 pounds. He really wants to put the pressure on Mark.
Ladies and gentlemen, the bar is loaded for Kari.
Bar is loaded for Kari. Lifting out of Ontario. He was super patient with his last two pulls. We'll see if he can stick with it for this one. The atmosphere absolutely electric here as they hype up Kari.
He's been very reserved to this point, but the crowd is on their feet.
Let's go, Kari!
And it's coming off to the knees. Oh, and unfortunately not quite. That's a good attempt by Kari. Our spotters and loaders making sure he's okay.
Seems like he's all right.
Seems like he's okay. Looks like he had a bit of a slip. We see him limping off. We'll have our medical team look at him.
Absolutely fantastic effort from him.
Excellent effort. And that's what you want to see, right? You want to see him leaving it all out there on the platform.
Yeah, try it.
So Mark is now attempting 385 kilograms.
Look at that jump.
That is 848 pounds. I think this is a world record.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to witness an attempt at the biggest deadlift ever at this weight class here by Mark Cardinal. This is surpassing his own world record.
You are correct.
Not too sure
This
about
is
how
going to
much.
be
He's
electric.
already got first place locked in.
So he's got first place locked in. He just wants to go for a world record. This is a 32.5 kilogram jump. We're witnessing history right here if he makes this. The crowd on their feet. Can Mark do it? And unfortunately not today. What a good effort by Mark. Even the fact that he pulled that off the ground to his knees was impressive enough.
Absolutely. What an athlete.
But he will still finish off in that first place position.
Well, congratulations to all our 120 lifters. We now have a few more reps in the 120 plus to conclude the 2020 Nationals. Bruno, Ben, and Raymond are our first three gentlemen.
Moving on to our 120 plus men's Raw Open.
The bar is
We have
loaded for
Bruno Boucher
265
from
kilos.
Quebec, attempting 265 kilograms.
And an easy opener.
No problems for Bruno on that opener. 3 white lights.
Next up, we have Ben Borger. Ben will be attempting 275 kilograms. That's 606 pounds for his first
The bar is
attempt.
loaded. Let's go, Ben. 275 opener. Raymond Hickey is on deck. Trevor's in the hole.
Nice and smooth throughout the whole lift. No
Yeah,
problem for Ben.
That's a good looking opener.
Far to travel, but 3 white lights. Farmer's loaded for Raymond Hickey.
Here's Ray opening at 275, 606 pounds.
Big Ray from Saskatchewan. Very fast opener there.
Easy lift for Raymond.
And 3 white lights, that's a good lift.
Like a last warm-up.
You see Ray has a slightly higher belt position. Seems like some athletes prefer that rather than your classic lower around the waist position.
Next up, we have Trevor Greenwood. He's opening at 285 kilograms, which is 628 pounds.
Representing Ontario here.
Another last warm-up kind of pull, real fast.
Yeah, definitely. Trevor just has explosiveness throughout his pulls. And as you can see, he actually pulled that beltless. We have Michael Rood up next, attempting 295 kilograms.
Loaded for Michael. Sharif is on
That's
deck.
650 kilograms. Or sorry, pounds. Representing Ontario.
And that's a good lift from Michael. I'll go out on a limb here and say Sharif's opener is probably going to move relatively quickly.
Yeah, we've seen nothing but speed from his pulls today, or from his lifts today, so I would doubt that his deadlifts would be any different.
661
Opening up at 300 kilograms.
Mikael is on deck. An easy opener for Sharif.
Absolutely, nice and fast.
Yep, just as predicted.
Once the completion of all the others happen, if anyone would like to stay around and help with tear down here, we're going to do some things with chairs, banners, and stuff. The meet directors would be extremely grateful for that. As well, we have the banquet doors opening in the Wellington room at 6 p.m. Dinner and awards at 7. Bar is
Next up, we have
loaded for
Mikael Kluche.
305 kilos.
Mikael will be attempting 305 kilograms. That's 672 pounds on behalf of Quebec.
That moved just like it should.
Yeah, blinking, you would have missed that one.
Three white lights.
Kilos for Terrence. As I was saying before, the banquet doors open at 6 in the Wellington room. Awards and dinner start at 7. There will be Wi-Fi.
Moving on to Terrence Mendes. Terrence will be attempting 315 kilograms,
Loaded, Terrence.
694 pounds. Terrence is from Nova Scotia.
Very nice lift from Terrence. Up next, we have Eric Willis. And if I'm doing my math correctly, I think it's really close competition between Eric, Willis, and Jason for that first overall spot. So Eric is opening at 330 kilograms.
It's just your average opener, you know.
Average gym lift.
Yeah.
Let's go, Eric.
We're just seeing a world-class performance by Eric here.
Eric looking really solid on that pole. 3 white lights.
Definitely. You can see here, he just really has the complete package. He has a solid bench, a very solid squat, and a very solid deadlift. Just the complete package.
Here's Big Jason opening with our heaviest deadlift, 332.5 kilograms.
Jason is also from Ontario.
And the judges give Jason 3 white lights on that. He's good lift.
Moving into our second attempts, we have Bruno Boucher attempting 280 kilograms from Quebec.
Going down to second attempts for Bruno. He would like 280 kilos.
We'll see if that hip pain he experienced through the squat will resurface during these deadlifts.
And the bar is loaded for Bruno.
Slow and steady, but that's a good lift for Bruno. He gets 3 white lights.
Bar is loaded for Raymond.
Ray is attempting 290 kilograms, 639 pounds. It's a 15 kilogram jump over his opener. And that looked really nice.
Yes, it did.
Ray's got a smile on his face as he leaves the platform, starting to think about his 3rd attempt already.
Here we have Trevor Greenwood with a 300 kilogram deadlift. Trevor out of Ontario. Here he comes. And Trevor, one of the few lifters that pulls beltless. And a very speedy second attempt.
And that's a good lift.
That's a good lift. 3 white lights.
See Trevor look up at the scorecard right away and already thinking about what can he do to put himself in the best possible position for his 3rd pull.
Definitely not many options left, so now's the time to act.
Here's Ben with 302.5 kilograms for his 2nd pull. Another real nice fight through the middle portion of that pole. And he gets 3 white lights. Got a big smile. Yeah.
Ben doing an excellent job here. We got Michael Rudet up next.
And the bar is
305 kilograms. That's 672 pounds. We'll see if he solves that lockout issue.
The 10-kilo jump doesn't seem to have been any problem for Michael. 3 white lights, he's good.
That looked much better than his first pull. Looks like he's dialed in his technique and he's ready to go.
Here comes Sharif with 320 kilograms, just over 700 pounds, 705.
This is a 20-kilogram jump. Really trying to separate himself from the pack here with his remaining deadlifts. And I don't blame him because most of his lifts today have seemed relatively easy.
Absolutely. He's looked like he's had something in the tank each time.
Now would be the time to leave it out there.
Come on, Sharif.
Once again, Sharif makes it look, if not easy, pretty close to easy.
Definitely that 200 or that 20 kg jump making a good call. We got Mikhail Cloutier up next. Mikhail will be attempting 322.5 kilograms. That's 700 and practically 11 pounds. He's representing Quebec.
322.5 for Mikhail.
Looks like Quebec's got a lot of big athletes here. And that's effortless. Mikhail getting the 3 white lights.
Terrence Mendez up, second attempt, 330 kilograms.
Today's session sponsor is Power Belly Lifting Co. You can see all the t-shirts the spot motors are wearing right now. Myself, I had one. This is the most comfortable t-shirt I've worn all day. Please check them out on Instagram at Power Belly Lifting Co.
Already.
Bar is loaded for
Terrence Mendes, 330 kilograms to the bar, 727.5 pounds. Representing Nova Scotia here, he gives one of his spotters a little fist bump. These are some big pulls we're seeing in these second attempts.
Looking good for Terrence. He gets all 3 white lights.
An excellent pull by Terrence.
Big jump here now for Eric Willis, going 360 kilograms, about 6 pounds short of 800 pounds.
This is a 30 kilogram jump for Eric.
Second attempt.
These are some big jumps.
Over a year ago, there wasn't more than bar is loaded.
And I can see that Jason put a 30 kilogram jump in as well. They're going to try to fight this one out right to the end. Here's Eric with.
Well, they're neck and neck with each other, looking to be only about 2.5 kilos apart in their overall total.
Eric gets 3 white lights. Very good. That puts a lot of pressure on Jason here.
It's a lot of pressure on Jason. Jason needs to hit this to really force Eric's hand.
Bar is
It seems like they're just passing off the pressure to each other.
Jason does not look overly nervous here.
No, he's pulled over 800 pounds before.
Very quick on his setup, too.
And that's a good lift for Jason.
Well,
3 white lights.
Here.
This is going to be intense. This is going to be down to this final deadlift, really, to make sure to solidify these placings. Looks like Eric put in for a 375 kilogram jump for his third, sorry. We'll see if there's any attempt changes as we get closer.
A little more gamesmanship at the last deadlift attempt.
Definitely. This is when powerlifting becomes a chess match.
Here's Bruno with his final pull attempt, 285 kilograms. If successful, he'll move from 6th to 5th place.
These are some of our last deadlifts for our nationals this year, 2020 in Winnipeg. And unfortunately, just not there today for Bruno.
Classy gentleman goes over and shakes the hand of all of the refs.
Bruno will go 6 for 9 today. Really pushing the limit of his third attempts on each lift. What a good day for Bruno, though. You'll see, too, our platform crew has to clean the bar between every deadlift during this third round. We want to make sure that the platform is up to standards for each and every one of our lifters.
The bar is loaded for Raymond. Come on, Raymond.
Yeah, you don't want any of that baby powder on the bar when somebody's trying to grip it.
Definitely. We have Raymond Hickey up next for his third and final deadlift. This is 300 kilograms, 661 pounds. Representing Saskatchewan. Oh, he had to put some more weight on that bar. That looked way too easy.
Ray, you better be happy. You got it, he is happy.
And he gets 2 white lights. That is a successful third lift.
Pretty good vertical for Ray there.
Yeah, very good vertical for Ray.
Ben up next with 312.5 kilos.
Looking very serious behind the curtain. Off comes the cap of ammonia. Oh,
Bar is loaded for Ben. Ben, 312.
he's ready to go. A little bit of back slaps.
Let's get it.
Big Ben hoping to secure this 688-pound deadlift.
Not today for Ben. Great attempt. Full of smiles. He's had a great day.
Ben will also go 6 for 9 today. Once again, attempting to push a little bit further than he could on his third attempts.
Got Michael up next. There's a big pull here, 312.5 kilos. If he makes this, he's going to move into 4th place.
Michael, run it. Come on, Michael. Last lift of the day. Let's get behind him, everyone. 312.5 kilos.
Michael moves that nicely for a third. All 3 white lights, great lift.
And we see the showmanship from Michael. He almost should have put more weight on that bar.
I think he had something.
Yeah. Next we have Trevor Greenwood from Ontario. Trevor attempting 315 kilograms. That's 694 pounds. Just shy of that 700-pound mark.
A little bit of pressure here. If he makes this, he's going to jump 2 positions to 5th place.
Bar is loaded for Trevor Greenwood. Come on, Trev. Let's get it.
And once again, we'll note that Trevor is lifting without a belt. Seemed to be pretty successful so far. If he makes this, he will go 9 for 9.
go, Trev. And the lights say...
And that's a good lift for Trevor. He goes 9 for 9 today. Him and his coach both extremely happy with his performance today.
So Sharif had a really big jump from first to second attempt. I think he's put another 7.5 kilos on this for his third attempt.
That's still a pretty good jump for a third attempt.
Absolutely.
If he makes this, he will also go 9 for 9.
And the bar is loaded for Sharif.
Bar is loaded for Sharif. Let's see what he can do.
Come on, Sharif.
And that's a good lift for Sharif.
I think Sharif only has one speed.
Yeah, he is one of the fastest lifters I've seen.
9 for 9.
We've had 3 lifters in a row all go 9 for 9. That's incredible.
Nick has already secured the bronze medal. He's successful on this one.
So Mikael Kluche up next, attempting 332.5 kilograms. That's 733 pounds, representing Quebec. If he makes this, he will successfully stay in third place, earning him the bronze medal here at the 2020 CPU Nationals.
Oh yeah, great pull, great pull. No doubt he's going to get 3 whites on that one.
That's a great lift. Speed and effort pulling into the third position for him.
So Terrence has added 30 kilograms from his second to his third.
Wow. He went for a 15 kg jump from his first to second, and yeah, you're right, a 30 kg for his second to third. If he makes this, he'll move from 6th to 4th. This is 793 pounds, nearly 800 pounds raw.
Here comes Terrence.
Here he comes from Nova Scotia. Fist bump from the spotter.
Fantastic effort from Terrence. Not there today. Well, here we are.
Here we are. This is down neck and neck. This is for first and second place.
Eric versus Jason.
One silver medalist. And Eric Willis.
So Eric's called for 815 pounds, 370 kilograms.
He'll move him from second to
If he
first
makes this,
place.
he'll move from second to first.
Eric won the open title in the equipped division 2 days ago.
Eric's second did not look too bad.
It did not look too bad.
Also being our first
I think he
open
easily has this
classic
10
world champion,
10 kilogram jump in him.
and a pretty
We'll
nice
see if there's
guy.
any attempt changes made.
Let's get behind him. The bar is loaded for Eric Willis.
Remember, Eric is a world-class athlete.
Fantastic stuff from Eric Lewis.
That looked effortless.
So Jason Byrne is not only pulling for first, he's also pulling for a national record, 370.5 kilograms.
He has to make this to stay in first place. If he does not make this, Eric will stay in first place. Jason will have to settle with the silver. Everyone is on their feet here at the Victoria Inn for the 2020 CPU Nationals. We are about to witness history here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are watching history right here.
Here we go, Jason.
And here's the attempt for the Canadian record. And unfortunately not today. A good effort by Jason.
Absolutely fantastic meet, but just not enough to take the first place today.
Definitely.
Good show of sportsmanship between our gold and silver medalists, giving each other a big pat on the back.
What a close battle.
It's been a lot of fun.
That's definitely the way to end off the Canadian Nationals here in Winnipeg.
So Reese, it's been an absolute pleasure working with you today, and good luck in your training.
Likewise, Garrett. We'll hopefully see you guys next year at the 2021 CPU Nationals in Newfoundland. You guys have yourselves a good one, and keep lifting. Stay strong.
Well, Xavier, thank you very much for all your help this weekend.
Alrighty.
All right, man, that was fun.
That was lots of fun. You were definitely a pleasure to do commentary with.
Likewise. Thanks a lot, man. It's good hearing your knowledge, man.
Yeah, man.
So,
Likewise.
Good luck with Power Belly, and I'll see you in the gym.
Sounds good to me.
Hello, everybody. I'd like you to take a look at Andrew Langelar. He's leading our teardown. He's the boss. If anybody can help him, please do so after the awards. Thank you. He's a really nice guy.
Our volunteer winner for this section is Patrick Wilcox. If you're here, Patrick. come and find me.
Okay, all the athletes, can you please come to the podium area? All the athletes to the platform. All of our 120, 120 plus athletes, please come to the stage. Everybody up on stage. Let's gather all of our 120, 120 plus athletes on the podium, please, for a photo opportunity prior to the medals. All athletes on stage, please. All the 120, 120 plus athletes, please gather on stage. All of the 120, 120 plus athletes on stage, please. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give all of our athletes one more round of applause, please. Okay, please stay on stage while we do the award ceremony, please. Austin. Okay. Cut the music, please. Evolution. Okay, we will begin our medal ceremony now. Our medals are going to be presented by Reese Patton from Power Belly Lifting Co. right out of Winnipeg. All the medal winners will receive a Zone Smelling Salt, a medal, and a Power Belly Lifting Co. t-shirt presented by our sponsor, Power Belly Lifting Co. The 120 kilogram class, we'll start with their medals. In third place, Stephen Domaxina. In second place, silver medal goes to Kerry Dennison. And our gold medal in the 120 men's unequipped open class. Gold medal to Mark Cardinal. Congratulations to the 120 kilogram unequipped men's class.
I feel badly that Jason's been second to
Okay, and our 120 plus kilogram men's unequipped open class. In third place, bronze medal to Michael Cloutier. In second place, silver medalist Jason Burney. And he was the gold medalist in the equipped session. He's also the gold medalist today in the 120 plus kilogram class, Eric Willis. I'm being informed this is only the second time this has happened in the Nationals before. Congratulations, Eric, gold medal. Okay, everybody, we thank you for coming out. That concludes our competition. We'll be having an awards banquet at 6 p.m. The doors open. Food at 7, awards at 7. We'll see you then. Please, any able-bodied person, help us with teardown. It would be much appreciated if you could take even one item. Thank you very much. We'll see you later.